So this is a detailed look behind the scenes at this remix that I've done for Booker T's label, and this is an artist named Mike City, and the track is Just to See You Smile, and it's one of those rare scenarios where everything just kind of slotted into place and some magic happened, and I'm really pleased with the remix. It's one of my favorite remixes I've literally ever done. There's something about this vocal and the music, the way they intertwine, that really does create something special, so I'm really pleased to have had the opportunity to do this. Going to dive in. There is a previous video that I was taking a look at adapting the vocal to match the music, so take a look back at that. This is going to be more of a kind of overview and looking at everything and going through some of the elements in more detail. So I'm going to play it. Let's have a listen. Just going to take you through these beats for the moment. In fact, what I'll do is I'll get this looping, and then I can just talk over some of the things that are going on. Just going to open this up. You can see all the separate elements of the drum kit here. So it's a drum rack. Some of these are processed. Just going to take you through some of the settings here. You can see a roll off on the highs on that kick. I was feeling it's a little bit too grainy. I'm just going to take the EQ off for you. I'll tell you what, let me just solo. Quite subtle, but I felt I needed to roll off some of those highs. The next one, I'm naming these, these are, that says Todd Terry style. It does remind me of a Todd Terry hi-hat, that one. I had to roll off some of the frequencies here though. Let me just show you here. It's a little bit harsher, and also some bottom end that needed to be rolled off on there. Clap, you can see here some very high frequency roll off and some lows as well. A tom, low frequency roll off because it was too heavy when the bass line was coming in. And let me just come back here. You can see what's going on, this part of the song. We're actually coming up, I fast forwarded a bit, 16 bars through, and you can see we're coming up to the bit where it breaks down here, and this is going to be where we've got the main musical elements. And so what I'm doing here is I'm introducing this. If we start off the very beginning of the track, it's really stripped down and really building on this principle of new elements coming in every 8 bars. If I open up the beat programming, you can see something new comes in here. So as a DJ, when the track is mixing in, you get a sense of the progression leading up to a point where you might want to work with it. The audience get these audible cues as to what's coming up. That's what the crash is used for every 8 bars, and there are some embellishments to that later on. I'm just going to open this up. And you also notice there what I did was I dropped the kick drum just before the next bar. So here we go. Just going to double click that. Can you see over here? Little touches like that can make a big difference, and that basically the decisions for that usually happens in the arrangement stage. When I'm working on the original idea, I wouldn't even be bothering about that level of detail. What else we got here? Right, some additional hats. So there's a loop, and I believe this is something I probably picked up from just trying to look at the origins of that. I can't remember where I got this from, but I pitched it down, processed it, flipped it around a bit. So it's filling in the gaps. And, when I'm working on ideas, I'd rather not do that. But when I'm doing stuff at speed and I'm really trying to gather together the idea really quickly, I'll just fling something in. But often I usually end up liking it too much to take it out. So anyway, it's cool, it's fine, it works. And also you can see here a tambourine coming in. That's another audio loop, and that's one from the track Think. Just trying to think, was it Aretha Franklin or popular old tune? So just looped up, and I can program tambourines, and I can get some great results. But there's something magic about this particular one that I enjoy using. So just want to explain something going on there. So we saw the crashes leading into the next section with the music, the snare here. Now what's important to understand about this is there is a little bit of a transformation going on here. I can't remember what I did. Here we go, let's have a look. You can see it there. So the pitch is being modulated on that snare. And you can see that over here, transposition. Let's watch what happens. So over here, this is being modulated. You can see that. So we're going to go minus 15 semitones. So it's giving us a sense that something's coming up, you know, it's leading into the next section. These audible clues or cues even are really useful for the audience. It helps them understand what they're going to do next on the dance floor. You know, we're assisting them, and also the DJ, if he's blending another tune. So we had the outro of the previous tune over this section leading up to this. He may be cutting this in, EQing out the previous tune and allowing the snare to be an introduction for the main section, which people will recognize after they've heard it a few times. This is the point at which they're like, oh man, that's that tune that I love. I'm going to get excited about it. So it's that kind of a vibe. And you can see that synth, that's a musical element. This over here, this was the V station, and have a listen. Little bit of drama. I used the EQ over here because it felt like it was just a little bit too energetic, around about 1.5k, and that's a real nice little cue as well. Some wind chimes, and it says here wind chimes for Nav. Nav was one of my students many years ago, and he said to me, have you got any wind chimes? So I made a little compilation for him, and I kept it on my hard disk. It's really handy. So wind chimes are really useful as transitional points. So that's just a sample of some wind chimes. Ping pong delay on there to give it a sense of space. And a noise sweep. Let's just have a look at that. Pulsing noise. I've used that particular sample on a few tunes. It's just really useful just to drop it in to get a sense of something going on. Right, now here we go. Main section, bass. This is a preset called Barnaby on Razor. Okay, so Razor, there was a deal recently where things were like a bargain price from NI, so I bought this separately. I've got the complete 9, but this doesn't come with complete line unless you get Ultimate, so I paid for this as a real nice addition to my armory. I really like the sound of Razor. So it's a great bass sound, very FM like, very much like the classic old school house bass sounds. Some EQ here just to allow that to sit a bit better in the mix. Okay, and that's because it's the notes are occurring at the same time as the bass line. All right, sorry, this is the bass line. The notes are occurring at the same time as the kick drums. All right, so that's the reason why I had that, and it's just allowing the two to exist, the kick drum and the bass at the same time. Let's take a look at this chord stab. Now this was probably one of the key elements for me when I was starting off making the track, and this is an old sample that I've got from my own personal library. You can see here I adjusted the start position, and this is triggering later on. At the moment there's a filter. Let me just open this, take it further down the line. I'm going to show you that the auto filter is being modulated here, so you can see that opening up over time. A real classic technique. So it's really warm at the moment, and that's opening up as time goes by. It becomes more energetic. You can see it goes up reasonably high here, gets even higher as we go later on through the track. You start to really get a sense of those kind of high mids and high frequencies in the sound. I exaggerated the highs as well here with this EQ8, and also you can see here rolling off at 120 Hertz so that it wasn't clashing with the bass. It's gone down again as a transitional thing through the arrangement. Also running through some overall compression coming from the LA2A emulation. I've just realized that that's off. So that would have been something whilst I was working that I would have used to control the volume, and in the end I felt I needed to get a little bit more control across the different frequency bands. So there's a multi-band compression going on there, all right, and I felt that evened it out really nicely for the mix basically. So that's that. It's quite a complex little chain there, so I could delete that, but it's fine, it's off, so I shouldn't be using up resources. Let me take that off of solo so we can hear that in context. Some vocal coming through. I don't want to focus on that just yet. Let's come over to this section here. And look at this. This is the classic M1 click finger snap. So rolling off the bottom end on there, because this thing is actually quite hefty. If you're on a system with a sub, you'll be able to hear that at the moment. And that's really just it's just like a new element, you know, it's offering something a bit different. And you can see here I've got two versions of the snare with the pitchfall. I've got one that's short and then one that's longer. So we're going to dive in again. And whilst that was occurring, you might have noticed once again the kick being dropped to just really emphasize what's going on there. I'm just trying to find my kick on there. Let me just have a look again. Now maybe I have EQ'd that beat there. Let me have a look at the EQ3. There we go. And I was thinking to myself, I couldn't hear the kick there. But actually I didn't take it out, I filtered it out. So that's like that DJ style filtering, so that's taken away the bass there. So I really like that, it's quite vibey. So here's the hook, just subtly introduced. Now, this, to be honest, was a real challenge. Working with these vocals, it took some time because they were supplied in a really interesting configuration. So you got to hear these BVs, then the lead, but you can hear there that actually it's almost as if these are part of the same verse. You know, just to is the beginning of the sentence, and then it carries on here. See you glow. So it's like, in an ideal world, these vocals would have been down here, but you can see why they're not, because they work in other places. So when you're actually dealing with a remix, you have to deal with what you've been provided with, and sometimes it can be a bit of work to go through and edit those out and move them onto separate tracks and stuff like that. So be aware when you're working on remixes, so that it can take some time to sort the vocals out. This is by no means anywhere near as bad as some of the ones that I had to deal with, to be honest, because some of them have been a real mess that need sorted out. The great thing about these vocals, they're nicely recorded, and you know, it's a great performance as well. So I didn't need to do too much work. It was just a matter of just balancing out the three vocals and trying to get these to sit nicely, so no volume inconsistencies. So you can see here I've got my chain going on here. I've got the EQ3 with a low cut. I've got EQ8 with an interesting shape here, but it felt like this was working for me. And overall, this is the whole group of vocals, the LA2A emulation, which is really a very, very nice vocal compressor. Okay, so that's just binding all of those vocals together, and that's just controlling the levels. Just to see you. Just to see you. Just to see you glow. Such an incredible feeling I get inside. Just to see you shine. And you can see also that I've got here some LA2A compression for the individual channel. On the ad-libs, let me just find that one. It's just some EQ. Just got the expanded EQ view here with the spectral analysis. Ad-libs EQ as well. Sorry, I've already done that. And the lead. Okay, so you can see here the Melodyne is basically being used to repitch some of the vocals to match my music. And there was that previous video about that. And then the same EQ again here. So this is all then running through the group, so the settings here as well. Okay. Is it toasting your name? Just to see you. Now this is interesting. You got some extra musical elements, and these are really just to embellish the chorus. The chorus is where all the energy needs to come out, and if I had left it with just that sample chord before, it would have sounded a little bit dull. And so I back this up now with the piano. This is actually Ableton's default grand piano, and it's actually quite a nice one. And this is running with some effects. I've got it going through a delay, and some reverb. I've enhanced the higher frequencies here. You can see about 5.49k. Just brought that out. I'll take this off. And that was really to lift it out with all the other musical elements that were going on. Now the chords, these are taken from, this is like me replicating what was in the actual original chord stab. So look, here we go. This is another one of the things. I keep going on about this whole thing about creating an emotional reaction in audiences. What I'm trying to do is deliberately trying to make people feel something. If you listen to the lyrics, I'm trying to bring out that kind of whole kind of life, emotion, feelings, experience kind of thing. And it's deliberate. I really want people for this to resonate with them. I want them to listen to the lyrics and feel something because of the musical backing behind it. So let's take a look at these elements here. My high strings, once again, a real common thing in terms of my productions. You'll hear these and you can see the progression. So literally just add some variation and let people, the audiences, know we're getting to the end of the section there. Yeah, and that's lovely when you bring on that sample chord as well. And the bass. Yeah, it's like a real special vibe there. Let me bring the vocals on again, have a listen.
Just to see you happy, love. Just to see you happy, love. Warms my heart and fills me love. You smile.
Okay, some automation going on with the vocals.
You smile.
So you can see that occurring over here. You see it on the actual display as well. I'll take loop off. So after all that drama, we're really stripping things down here, taking the filter down, and coming up to a section where I really break it down, literally. So you'll see that coming up. Wind chimes being used for transitional elements again. These are different most of the time, so not exactly the same sample, otherwise the things would get boring.
Just to make you laugh and cheer you up when you were sad. You can depend
Once again the snare.
Just to be that special one.
Okay, let me tell you a story about this next section. This was a bit more complicated. Listen to the harmonies.
Baby, just to see you happy, love. Makes for better.
Here we go. Yeah, so those harmonies are fine. It was this section.
Makes for better days.
So that didn't go with my music. So what I thought was, let me just take the music out. I mean, I know I've got a bass line. I'm talking more about the chords. So my chords were clashing with the harmonies there. But do you know what? This is like a kind of lucky thing. This creates a different mood. The fact that I've taken the chords away and I've now got new harmonies, this changes the mood a little bit. And it's a lovely contrast for when my keys then come back afterwards. All right, so have a listen.
Just to be that special one in your life. Makes for better days and even better nights. So here's a toast to you, baby. Just to see you happy, love. Just to see you happy, love. Warms my heart and fill me up. Fill me up.
There we go.
I just wanna see you happy, love. Happy, love. For me to feel alright.
So that was that transition that I was talking about. We got a different mood here than over here at this bar 129. That's when it flips back to my music again.
Oh, I just wanna see you happy, love.
I strip down the beat again just to add some extra drama at that point. And the rhythm is carried on by the other elements so we don't lose momentum. And we're really leading up to this chord filtering open, piano coming in, everything kind of reaching a crescendo. And then once again stripping down. And I really like this section coming up, where it really strips down and then the beat comes back, so you've got a real pause with the chord stabs and then the kick coming in. So look, have a listen. Yeah, I'm really trying to, like I said, trying to establish drama. So when it's on a big system, it's going to really resonate with the people.
When you smile, yeah.
High strings, providing some tension.
Even more.
These make things sound a bit more dramatic, a bit more serious. Here we come with the other musical elements. And now this vocal, this was looped on the original, so I just left it as it was. But then coming up on the mixer, some more automation. So the delay there, just to add some extra impact to that section. And now really, we're talking about the end of the track and when the next tune will be mixed in by the DJ, you know. So I'm providing really just a nice healthy amount of the track for that to occur. You can see that the chord stab is filtering down here. Really, that's about it now. So after all of that drama and excitement, you know, we're leading out for the next tune. Yeah, I love the structure on this. It's got plenty of variation, so it works really well. Let me show you what's going on my return tracks here. There's a reverb there, ping pong delay with some EQ, guitar rig. This is being used to provide a real nice kind of space. It's using reflector, and I'll just get this one up on screen so you can see it. It's on the second monitor at the moment. I'll bring it over. So that's being used for the voice, real nice reverb space on there. Master, if anybody's curious, I've got solid bus compressor, which is pretty much my go-to bus compressor, modeled on the G series, I think, the SSL. It's got a nice vibe on there, and you can see my settings here, so the release is quite fast. I don't always go that fast, but it sounded really cool, to be honest. Attack slow to allow the transients to get through, keep that punch without squishing it too much. A little bit of a mix on here from the dry to wet, so it's all over here is 100% wet, but if you move this over, it's bringing in some of the dry signals, so that added a real nice vibe. The vibe EQ, now this is going to come up with a message, basically telling me it's an evaluation copy, but I have actually bought this. Everyone's going to say, oh yeah, Danny's using dodgy software, but the great thing about the Stillwell plugins is you can try them out before you buy them. I have bought this, you know, those guys Stillwell, they'll see this on their licensing details, but I've reinstalled this after not having it on my machine for a while, and I need to just go through the whole key thing again. But I really like this EQ. You know, it's like based on the Poltec, a little bit of a cut here, 200, a little bit of a cut at 2.5k, and a little bit of high shelf boost to brighten it up just a touch. But the sound of this EQ is really nice, and then also my go-to end of chain limiter. So this is the brick wall limiter at the very end, but not too slammed into that. Let me have a look. So yeah, just look, -3. Tell you what, just for comparison, let's group these together. And sorry, my keyboard's shortcuts are not working very well here. Let's just do this, Shift plus click. And I'm going to group these. Let's take all this off so you can have a listen before and after. Let's come back on that section. So that's how it sounds without my master processing in there with. So it really does make a difference, and that's a very standard kind of final mastering chain for me. those three. Okay, so that's the overview of the remix, and this is coming out very, very soon. It may even be out the week of this video going up on the channel, and what I'll do is I'll provide the links, etc. Big thanks to Booker T for the opportunity, and yeah, I'm hoping to see a nice amount of support for this. It's literally, like I said, it's one of my favorite remixes I've done. And I've just noticed that. It's so funny. Live just crashed on me, but it's fine. It's all saved. The track's finished. It's cool. And you're just left with some nice photography of an Ampex tape reel here that I took on my desktop. But anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, if you have any comments, questions, drop them into the section below, and I'll see if I can get back to you.